This quick video will cover the common scenarios of what could theoretically happen if you don't do your due diligence when screening tenants in Canada. However, with a little common sense, these can all be avoided and you can rest easy at night. We've all heard the extreme stories about tenants stripping the home of everything and selling it, or running a crack house. There are similar situations, however, that happen sometimes if you don't screen your tenants properly, even in Canada, supposedly a country known for everyone being nice. Knowing these potential situations will allow you to steer clear of them because you will know what to look out for. Let's get straight into it. Number 1. One of the most common situations is a tenant that has lied on his or her applications, and the landlords didn't do a thorough job of verifying that info. So they think that they seem like great tenants, based on what they see on paper and after meeting them in person. After taking them in as tenants, a lot of these landlords struggle with late rent payments and sometimes even no rent payments at all. So the owner is now stuck paying the mortgage out of his or her own wallet. One landlord wrote an article about how his tenants admitted over the phone that he had professionals create fake pay stubs, as well as a fake letter of employment. Unfortunately, that phone conversation was not recorded. So, now the owners are dealing with this tenant who only pays the minimum when the owners take the case to court, because that's the way the law works in Canada. They greatly favor even the worst quality tenants over landlords. Number 2. This leads to the second point that we know happens often regarding late payments. Typically, if they have good credit score, this should not happen because they don't want all that hard work of building their credit score to go out the window. Poor quality tenants might in fact make no payments at all if you make them upset enough. The problem with this is that in Canada, once again, tenants are favored. The courts take their side, and landlords have to pay a filing fee whenever they try to evict them for non-payments. Once the application process for eviction starts, tenants can still live there for free for months because courts take their time making their decisions. Additionally, the court may order the tenants to pay on time from that point on, and they can legally keep staying in the landlord's home for however long they want. So what the tenants will do is they will pay the next month to legally stay for another few months, and will possibly end up damaging your property out of anger before disappearing, leaving only their trash behind. Another problem is that you can't sue these people because they have nothing to pay you with. You will just lose your money on paying your lawyer and other expenses. They almost literally have nothing to lose. This type of tenants can usually be avoided by looking at their credit score, their personality, and checking all the references thoroughly. As soon as there are any late payments by even a day, an N4 should be provided. To avoid angering the tenant when you provide that N4, you or your property management company may simply say something along the lines of, "This is just company policy. If you submit your payment now, it won't affect you in any way. It's just something we do for all our tenants." Number 3. This next point stresses the fact that you have to do all your reference checks and due diligence. There are frequent cases of professional tenants out there, and they rarely get anything more than a slap on the wrist by the landlord and tenant board before they move on to the next victim. They will usually be well-dressed, well-spoken, and well-mannered, and they always know how to answer your questions correctly. In fact, if it's a low-quality unit and they seem to be of higher class, that's something that should be a red flag to you. Why are they applying here? Professional tenants can end up doing a variety of things, from not paying rent after moving in and staying there for free, to taking apart your home and selling off those parts without you knowing. By the time you come back to see your unit, they are gone. The worst part is that these people have experience and they know how to make their application and themselves seem like great tenants. They also know the laws very well in Canada in terms of the legal relations between the landlord and the tenant, and so they know how to take advantage of inexperienced landlords. Number 4. Another thing that professional and even non-professional tenants could end up doing is making a profit themselves. They could end up turning your home into a rooming home without you knowing, and charging people such as students rent. This is called subletting. They will play it off as though they are the owners of the home, and will accept rental applications from people like those students, and their rent income will be bigger than what they pay you in rent, so of course it's easy money for them. Number 5. A similar situation that could happen is that when you approve your tenants and they begin living there, they could bring in other family members or friends behind your back, and before you even know it, you have an overcrowded home, which will likely be damaged. Even worse, if something ever happens, such as a fire, you may end up being responsible for all those people that got hurt, especially if it turns out that your home was not up to lawful standards. Not only will you have a record of overcrowding your home with tenants, you will also face trouble in terms of not having records of who's staying there. On top of that, having that many people in a small confined space tends to be unsanitary, with many people using the same bathroom, kitchen, and even beds. Who's going to clean all that? This will of course potentially lead to mold, unpleasant smells, and many other things that will be hard to remove from your unit. Number 7. Another example of what could happen is that they take advantage of the all-inclusive utilities. Specifically, we heard about a landlord a few years ago on the news that had a tenant running a laundromat business from their very unit. Of course, now the owner probably has coin laundry to avoid that, but that whole situation could have been avoided by approving someone that has a full-time job and at least a decent credit score. They would be less likely to waste time on making a bit of money, doing other people's laundry, and risk getting evicted. There are many more possibilities of what could happen if you don't screen your tenants properly and thoroughly, but this should at least give you a sense of what happens frequently. They're not just myths. It's the reason many people give up real estate investing when they just start out. However, you don't have to, and you don't have to be afraid if you take the correct steps from the beginning. As a bonus, another quick tip that many of you probably already use: look them up on the internet. This doesn't have to be the basis of your decision, and it shouldn't be if it has something to do with race or religion. But if you notice they have photos of themselves holding guns, making gang signs, or posts of them making death threats to someone, it's probably a good idea to avoid them. You may be wondering, how do I properly screen tenants? Well, you can sign up to our list on our website, Strategicinvestments.ca, and we will tell you. We'll also be posting information on what to do if you already have a bad tenant. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask us. We're here to help because we specialize in this. If you don't have any time to invest, call us anyway. Maybe we can figure out a plan that works for your schedule so that your money is working hard for you. Also, don't forget that we're partnered with a professional real estate management company that will take over all the heavy lifting for you at a discounted amount if you buy or sell through us. Visit us at Strategicinvestments.ca. Don't procrastinate, don't wait till tomorrow, contact us now.